Northern Cape Finance MEC John Block to appear in court on fraud and corruption charges, and Eugene Blanche murder case to continue. With the news this hour, I'm Ayanda Gonene. Northern Cape Finance MEC and ANC Provincial Chairperson John Block and several co-accused are to appear at the Kimberley High Court on fraud and corruption charges this morning. The charges relate to alleged irregularities in the acquisition of water purification plants from a company owned by one of Block's co-accused, Uruguayan businessman Gaston Savoy. The DA and COPE have called for Block's removal as MEC for Finance and Economic Development, but his supporters maintain the charges are part of a political conspiracy against him. The SABC's Amos Pacho reports.
According to the charge sheet, Block used his political influence as the provincial chairperson of the ruling party and colluded with Solplaiki municipal employees to award a tender to supply water purification systems to Intaka Holdings in return for kickbacks. Among the suspects appearing with Block will be former mayor of the same municipality Patrick Linyebi, former municipal manager Frank Mashilu, and former chief financial officer Nandi Pamadiba. They are all charged with fraud, corruption and contravening the Municipal Finance Management Act. In another related case which will be heard today as well, Block and Savoy face allegations related to government departments purchasing water purification equipment at inflated prices in 2005 and 2006.
President Jacob Zuma says African countries should strengthen diplomatic relations in order to collectively confront socio-economic challenges on the continent. He was addressing over 20 newly appointed members of the diplomatic corps at the presidential guest house in Pretoria. President Zuma's statement is widely seen as a move to calm tensions that emerged during the hotly contested leadership for the chairmanship of the African Union Commission in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa earlier this week.
Despite the enormous burdens on Africa and other developing nations, particularly conflict-prone countries, I have no doubt in my mind that through our strengthened diplomatic relations, we can overcome those. We should not allow these challenges to dampen our determination to deliver our peacekeeping commitments.
The trial within a trial in the Eugene Blanche murder case will continue in the Ventersdorp Circuit High Court in the Northwest this morning. The defense has described the confessions obtained from the accused in the murder trial as the fruit of a poisonous tree. They insist that the police did not follow proper procedure, especially in their handling of the teenaged accused. Farm worker Chris Mahlangu and a teenager are on trial for the right-wing leader's murder. The teenager's lawyer, Zola Majavu, says they are trying to show that the child's rights had been violated right from the beginning and that the confessions cannot stand.
You cannot have a situation where there's uncertainty about whether or not these rights were properly explained to them. Because chances are, if the explanation had been proper, a probation officer had indeed been appointed, there may well not have been any pointings out. The law provides that a probation officer must be appointed as soon as possible, within 24 hours, and to make an assessment of the child, so that whatever choices that this child makes, they are informed choices.
Communities in the Eastern Cape will have a chance to make their input on the Protection of State Information Bill when the National Council of Provinces holds hearings in Port Elizabeth, Mthatha and Berkeley East. The first hearings were in the Western Cape earlier this week. The bill seeks to protect classified state information but has been widely criticized for not protecting whistleblowers. The NCOP's Sam Mazosiwe.
We want to receive the views of the public back to that bill so that we are, when we finalize it sometime in April or towards the end of March, we shall have at least have heard what the people of South Africa are saying about the bill, with a view, of course, to looking at possible amendments to the bill. People generally should come prepared. The assumption is that the bill was actually circulated and read by the people.
Former President Nelson Mandela's personal chef, Zoliswa Ndoyiya, says she's not worried about him aging. Ndoyiya has been cooking and caring for the 93-year-old for almost 3 decades now. She's told SABC Radio News that everyone should be happy that Madiba is still around.
He's a person who will tell us, I don't understand you people, whenever you think of me when I'm sick or whenever it's happening, you think I'm here to stay forever. One day there will be no me. While I'm still here, enjoy my presence with you. And then I like him because he's always preparing everyone. But because we are all in love with him. We don't want to lose him. He's still reading his own newspapers, writing his own things, and I'm still happy for him.
Ndoyiya will be launching her cookery book, Ukutya Kwasekhaya, Tastes from Nelson Mandela's Kitchen, at his foundation in Johannesburg today. On the 2nd of February 1990, former President F.W. de Klerk announced the release of Nelson Mandela and the unbanning of the African National Congress, the Pan-Africanist Congress and the South African Communist Party, as well as other liberation movements. To listen to an extract of the speech and the reactions that followed, go to option 7.